Hey guys, welcome back to the Power Play on WDSR Radio. I'm Katie, and I am joined here again by Daisy and Chris. And I think it's time to talk a little USA-Russia. What do you guys think?
We have to talk about that game. That was insane on Saturday morning. That is something, I had to be awake for that. But
I had to be awake too.
I was awake for it.
Unfortunately, my parents forgot to wake me up when I asked them to, so I had to watch the replay. But it was just as amazing watching it again, even though I was late to the party.
I kept off social media in the mornings and watched the replay in the afternoon, and it was an amazing game. It's like I've heard comparisons to the Miracle on Ice, which I think might be a bit out of the almost a bit out of a loop, but it was an unbelievable game. Personally, I love the shootout rules that you can choose one shooter. And Jonathan Quick played well. The US played well, and in the end, it was a good win.
I don't know how I feel about the shootout rules in the Olympics. I'm a big fan of having a different shooter for each round, and each player can only shoot once, just because it kind of it adds a little something, I think, to it when you have all these different players, because you can have an unexpected hero, the underdog, come up and win the game big for you. And to be honest, I did not know that Oshie shot that many times before he scored the game winner. So it was kind of a letdown when I heard that. I was thinking that this was his first shot, and he just happened to be, America's golden boy for this game. But I also think that comparing it to the Miracle on Ice is going a little bit too far. I can kind of see where there are some similarities, but it is by no means the magnitude that game was. And
a lot of it was just the excitement which everyone had, especially after the shootout, that every shot could have ended the US's hopes. Just the fact that it ended like the way it did it was amazing. Everyone was talking about it like it was almost a gold medal match.
It did not feel like a prelim at all.
It did not feel like a group stage game.
No way. That would have made for an awesome gold medal game. I can't even imagine if that was the gold medal game. That would have been fantastic.
And it was the game which I think everyone was thinking about when they saw that Russia was playing the US in the group stage. Both teams have a lot of NHL players, and they're both very well coached. And it just turned out that they played a great game together. I was surprised. I thought the US maybe might have pulled away before the game started, but once the game started, you could just tell that it was going to be a shootout until the end.
We actually have the audio from Kovalchuk scoring first, and then Oshie's game-winning shootout goal.
Ilya Kovalchuk accelerating this time on in. No! The bottom of the eighth. Oshie and Bobrovsky duel again. Score! Team USA wins!
So that was probably the most exciting that I think of the Olympics.
Do you think there's been that many people in a bar at about 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning before?
Of course. They were going nuts. They had to be going nuts. Especially all the people in St. Louis. That's their guy right there.
Especially North Dakota was going crazy. I haven't heard that much news about North Dakota until the last 3 days, where all I've heard is TD Oshie and North Dakota. It's a tourism boom up there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, definitely a great way to kind of kick off the medal rounds that are coming up. You can't ask for a better game than that. You really can't.
Have you heard about some of the discrepancies? I know I was reading this morning regarding Evgeny Malkin and Alexander Ovechkin and the head coach of Team Russia. What I've read is that they feel not so cheated, but they feel like he's been playing the KHL players more. What do you guys think about that between Ovi? Because Ovi was going nuts in that game. What I had seen, he was on point, and then to read these things that they're upset with their home country's head coach on home soil, it's kind of a shock. I didn't personally notice any more KHL players playing over Ovechkin or Malkin, but that might just be me, and from what I was seeing, I guess I might have been paying more attention to the U.S. men than Russia.
No, I had heard that too, actually. I had a conversation with my dad about it yesterday, actually. And I think what what kind of, I guess, people are taking away from that is that Russia wants to draw a lot of attention towards the KHL, since that is their NHL over there. And like you said, they are playing on home soil. So I think that some people probably picked up on that. And did you say that Malkin and Ovechkin were the ones who were...
From what I read, those two are the most upset with their head coach and what's going on over in Russia right now with the KHL.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything from the specific players, but I did hear that...
Rumored.
Yeah, I did hear something that the KHL players are being favored over the NHL players just because they play in Russia versus the United States and Canada.
And especially when your two biggest stars on that team play in the NHL, you're playing for your country. It's the Olympics. All biases should be put aside. You want to win the gold medal. That is the aim of every Olympic coach. Going into the Olympics, you want to win the gold. If you're not going to win the gold, there's almost no point in entering the Olympics. Another country will want to take gold. So for the fact that you have your two best stars arguing with the coach supposedly is ridiculous. Sort of the Russian Olympic Committee would, if this turns out to be true, we'll have to look internally, because if that's the issue and it's solely the coach's fault, then you have to look outside for another coach.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
The men's hockey team also beat Slovenia in the last qualification round, 5-1. Miller started in net over Jonathan Quick. Jonathan Quick starting the past 2 games. How do you guys feel about Miller's performance? Everyone seemed to not really think about the fact that he's starting behind the Sabres defense. Quick, obviously, starting behind LA's, which is a lot better than the Sabres right now, but I didn't think he did too terrible for the first time he'd been put in for this Olympic run.
And he only faced, I think, was it 20 shots that he faced? It was 20 or 21, and he allowed 1 goal on that. In a 5-1 rout, I think you tend to look less at the goaltending, but I thought Miller was sound in net. He played well. Quick obviously had the big game against Russia, which got a bit more attention with those shootout saves and in the regulation time. But I think Miller was fine. Now you get down to that tough decision that we were all thinking was going to come sooner or later, that they're probably going to play Miller and Quick in the group stage. Looking on paper right now, let's say you play... Does it matter if you play Czech Republic or Slovenia as far as who you put in net?
If the U.S. would play Slovenia, I think I would put Slovakia. I think I might go with Quick, in all honesty.
And why is that?
I think he has garnered more attention with the Russia game. He was very sound throughout that shootout. It was a really exciting game. I just think I would go with him just to start out, especially being the first knockout game. I think as a coach, if I was Dan Bylsma, I would start Quick. I'd be a little nervous as my first game head coaching to be able to stay in the tournament, and I would go with Quick. I think he's a lot more sound than Miller. I am a fan of Ryan Miller, but I don't know if this win was a fluke. I don't know. I would feel a lot safer with Quick.
See, I actually really like Ryan Miller. I think what I would do is I would start Ryan Miller, and if things start to fall apart, then maybe give Jonathan Quick a look. But I honestly I think Ryan Miller played great. I really do. And I don't think the fact that he's got the Sabres defense in front of him is helping his case at all. I think when you take the defense away and you look at him as a goaltender, he's very, very good.
But I'm sorry, if things start to get out of hand pretty quick, then if you're down 2 or 3 goals, game's over pretty much. I know there's been comebacks before, but if you're down 3 goals against a good Czech Republic team, you might not come back from that.
But USA also has a very good offense. I mean, look how many goals they've scored in the tournament already.
I think if you are falling behind, Castle can really step up his game. He had a hat trick. He scored the first 3 goals of this game against Slovenia. I don't think if they are falling behind maybe by 2 goals and decide to pull Miller and put Quick in, that I'm not sure it would be too much of a... Too detrimental to try and recover from maybe 2 goals with the offense that is the United States.
I think it's a great problem to have 2 outstanding goaltenders. That's probably the best decision that you can make, is that either way you're going to choose a goaltender who's performed well in the tournament and gives the team a great chance to win. Sort of none of the US options I would be unhappy about. It
is a tough call. Bylsma's got a difficult decision in front of him, but don't know. I honestly, either goaltender is gonna step up and play a good game.
Now let's talk about the team that the US will face in that game. You have Slovakia playing the Czech Republic tomorrow at noon. Slovakia in this tournament haven't looked that great. Obviously, they lost 7-1 to the US. And the Czech Republic on the weekend lost 1-0 to Switzerland, which I'm sure Switzerland probably didn't think they were going to win that one. And I know most hockey fans didn't see the Czech Republic losing that game. Any thoughts as far as who you think is going to win out of the Czech Republic and Slovakia?
I don't know. My gut's telling me to go with Czech Republic.
I would pick the Czechs over Slovakia, absolutely.
Nothing against Slovakia. I mean, obviously they're a decent team, and they were playing a very good USA team in the game when they lost. But I don't know. There's just something about the Czech team. They're also a very good team, and I think when you put those two head to head, I think the Czechs have the better team.
And it doesn't help when Slovakia's down to their third goaltender either.
That's true.
I know they've switched about a lot because they've given up. I think they've given up 15 or 16 goals in the group stage, which is it's unheard of.
But that's not only the goaltender's fault. You got to look at your defense for that too. So when if you're your third string goalie and you've given up that many goals, that's almost half the team you're looking at right there as far as addressing problems goes.
Yeah, you see more of the blame being faced on the goaltender from the outside, more internally. If you pay attention to the Olympics, you'll probably see that it's not all Slovakia's fault as far as the goaltending is concerned. I know in that USA game, the US just dominated. Slovakia's defense looked poor, and you can't put all that blame on the goaltender. You just can't.
Who would I rather see the United States playing from a win perspective? Slovakia. Who do I think they're going to be playing on February 19th? The Czech Republic.
I agree. I would love to see us play Slovakia, but based on everything I just said, I don't think that's going to happen.
And we have the overall ranking after the preliminary round. Sweden sits at number 1, with the U.S. trailing behind its second, and third, Canada. Fourth, Finland. What do you guys think about Olimata making such an impact on Finland? The other day he was tied for the largest amount of the most points scored in the Olympics.
I think I need to reevaluate my life. He's 19 years old playing in the Olympics, scoring all these points, and I'm 21 figuring out what I'm going to do in 10 months after I graduate. So, no, he's had an incredible showing during the Olympics. I mean, I don't think anybody expected him. It was a complete honor for him to be chosen at 19 to represent his country, and I think it kind of came out of the blue. I really was not expecting that, but once they made the announcement that he was going to play in the Olympics, I wasn't surprised. But to see him be this successful in this tournament is blowing my mind. I'm thoroughly impressed with him, and I've never been more happy to have him as a Pittsburgh Penguin.
Russia sits at 5th after Finland. Not doing too bad on their home soil, and they are followed by Switzerland, the Czech Republic, Slovenia, Austria, and Slovakia sits at 10. Latvia, and then Norway coming in last at 12.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break real quick, but when we come back, we're going to be talking definitely some more hockey, obviously. Make sure you stay with us. This is the Power Play on WDSR.